It's Greg.
Shh. Thanks to Chef Good, Philippe is, well, basically my very own personal chef.
Well, I wouldn't say
In
that.
fact, Philippe is just one of many personal chefs I have.
I don't think it quite works that way. Sorry, I thought we were doing a cooking show here.
Chef Good, I can eat what I want, when I want, and be sure I'm getting the quality I deserve for being me. Philippe, I will have roasted duck infused with mashed potato, please.
I'm a pastry chef. It's just turned midnight on the 25th of August 2021. It's a Wednesday. We just drove, well I just did, from a friend of my cousin's place about 5 kilometres away, which is the outer limit of the lockdown zone here in Melbourne. But the curfew began at 9 p.m. so I actually broke the law and reached a $5,000 fine, staying there a bit longer and having a few drinks with them. But turns out it was worth it. I've got to be careful though, because I've been in trouble with the police before and they don't have that much mercy. Apparently, a year ago, the Uber drivers said they were pulling people over and checking if people were within the 5 kilometre range. But now they've gone a bit easier. Hopefully that's going to stick around, but at the moment, basically all citizens are criminals until proven innocent, which is dodgy as fuck. So, the guy I spoke to, I've met him about 5 times, my cousin's friend. We were watching music videos on his TV from the 1970s. I really don't have any people who are 44 years old as friends. Most of my school friends abandoned me as soon as school finished because I was depressed. So I ended up spending my life fucking wandering the streets night after night, playing guitar, singing for a few dollars, but really I was looking for company rather than money. At any rate, he said to me, "Did you dye your hair? Did you bleach your hair at the front?" I said, "Yeah." Which is true. But the thing is, I don't really want to have such light hair at the front. It doesn't match. Does it? It's blonde, almost. I mean, this is colour number 4. I did bleach the front for the sake of blending with the front hairline bleaching that I always do with my hair pieces. As well as that, I really wanted to get rid of those cornfield lines that Polly is infamous for. So I'm considering right now, even though it's midnight, testing out some dye. Now you saw I've used one of these recently with the developer and the dye. Just mix them together, 1-to-1 ratio. You just brush them on with this, or just use your hand or whatever. There's also this, which I haven't opened yet, which is supposed to get rid of greys and so on. The thing is, with either of these products, you would not want to get the dye on the base. And I can't be bothered replacing this hair piece if it goes sideways. But I'm halfway willing to give it a risk. So today, didn't know I was about to do this, but I will now. So long as I have my drink and my smoke with me, I'll get them in and I'll open this up. See what comes in this box. Alright, so far, there's this thing, let's say they're gloves. So it says color base, it says applicator with color developer, and then inside this box, which is a bit wet, I've just got, that's empty now, some instructions, which are all wet, and it comes with pictures. I will not be reading all of that, I can tell you that right now. Warnings and shit. 1, take off the lid. Number 2, put that shit in there. Number 3, shake it up, whatever. I'll read it, because I need to know development times. And then it says have a shower. Nah, fuck it, I'm not doing it. I can't be bothered having a fucking shower and drying myself like some Neanderthal. Why can't they just like fucking disinfect me of the bacteria on the external parts of my body? Isn't it enough that I just wipe the back of my ears once in a while? Clean my ball sack? Yeah, it's kind of easier just to dye a hairpiece when it's not on your head. Now, I've spoken about lace versus poly in terms of ease of dyeing or bleaching. Obviously, lace is a lot easier to bleach the base, the roots. There's no challenge in that whatsoever. You just turn the whole thing upside down, just put bleach all over it. If you don't know what brand to use this one. If you can't read that through the plastic bubble wrap, bad luck. Go back and watch the 1,000 videos I've made of where I've bleached my fucking hairpieces. But in terms of dyeing, that's always been a problem. Now, somebody said, don't start with blonde because it's too hard, right? If you start with blonde on the base, you gotta get really close to get those roots looking perfect. I did challenge somebody and said, I'll give you 200 American dollars if you successfully dyed a blonde hairpiece brown and kept the roots perfect. Now, they haven't really come back to me properly, so looks like they're not going to do it. I gave them a month, but they're not being responsive. They were talking at some point about making a combination cross video between stick-on hair and I think it's hair pieces for all or something for all, hair for all maybe. But yeah, hasn't happened. Had to be lied. I don't know why that dimmed. Maybe there's a trigger. Maybe I've just lost a couple of cones and rods in my eyeballs. At any rate, it just came on again. What the hell? Did it seem to get lighter all of a sudden to you? Or am I seeing things? Maybe it's just light flickering. I don't know. Anyway, in order to make this mix together, no, I'm not going to do it. I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. There's the box that it came in. Seriously, I'm starting to get work. Okay. It's in the pot, thanks. My conclusion from this video has been that I can't be bothered doing a lot of things to do with hairpieces. The hairline's been okay. Oh, by the way, this is very important, right? This is 100% undistilled Walker Tape Ultra Hold, and this has been completely mixed 1-to-1 ratio with alcohol. This stuff is what I used all along the front hairline. I've noticed zero difference in hold, or perhaps an improved hold, having the mixture. And this has been 3 days or something. It's just really good. I would totally recommend mixing your Walker Tape Ultra Hold with alcohol. That could be doubled to that. So instead of $30 or whatever this is, it's $15 now, because alcohol's cheap. Maybe let's say that's $12, okay? So you got that much of the alcohol into there, probably even less, right? So you just save $600 or something out of the total amount that you might. I'm making shit up, but you can see what I'm saying. Huge discounts to be made in terms of glue, strength of the glue, and I always talked about dabbling green because it was less dense, less viscous, and it was easier to apply. But I've basically chopped this down into 50%. So in terms of viscosity, I'd say Devlin Green is 80% as viscous as Walker Tape Ultra Hold, but this is 50% as viscous as Walker Tape Ultra Hold. So this is the most economical way to deal with glue at all. If there was a better container, I would tell you what it was, because you need to seal out air. You also need a brush. Do you want to wash the brush after fucking gluing? No, you just want to shove it back in the bottle. So effectively, I would say wait till you get down to 50% of a bottle. Wait till it gets down to there, and then pour it up to the top with alcohol. Use it all until it runs out. Then, when you get a new bottle of Walker Tape Ultra Hold, pour it halfway, mix it with alcohol. But the problem is it might take a couple of days to fuse. Make sure you've got a spare bottle or something, because I don't know how to deal with that. The infusion wait time is something I'm not really understanding. I don't know how long it would take to mix that nicely. You would assume 10 minutes, wouldn't you? But shaking it, just for the sake of experimentation, even though I love this substance, this is a 50-50 mix of Walker Tape Ultra Hold and alcohol. I don't want to ruin it by putting bubbles all through it and making it turn white. But just for the sake of experimentation, we need to see how quickly it could mix. But even though it's infused now, it's already almost fully mixed, right? But still, what happens if this is shaken? A few bubbles, not white, but just bubbly. It's not white, it's still clear, just filled with bubbles. Do you think that will return to normal in 20 minutes from now? It's 11 minutes past 0. Do you think that will turn back to normal and the air will just rise out of it in 20 minutes? Or do you think it'll stay that way? At any rate, the glue problem is solved in terms of the best glue on the market. Like I say, this is 80% the viscosity of Walker Tape Ultra Hold. This has been opened and exposed to air many times. This is my last bottle. Plus it's glass, so if you drop it, it smashes all over the tiles on the bathroom floor. It's a much lower quantity. And there's green writing that's all over the outside of the bottle. Scratches off and just gets on your fingers and stuff. Whereas this one is generally covered in a giant sticker and you've got to clean it off with C22 to clean the bottle so that it's actually visible. So I don't need Devlin Green anymore. It's gone from $9.28 to $12.57 or some bullshit on hairdirect.com. But shipping it to Australia, this one bottle, it's about $100. So it's better not to buy anything from America because the shipping is insane. Buy everything from China. Let America rot. That's what's going to have to happen because they're not willing to play ball with the rest of the world. They don't understand there is anything outside of their own country. They look after their own. They're losing internationally in sales. So they want to do that. If America wants to die, let's let them. Let China take over the world. Beautiful. I'm so looking forward to that. Anyway, economically, China has already taken over the world. So that's it. But America, just to lie down and let themselves die like this, it's just crazy. Subsidize your shipping if you want to compete on a world stage with sales with other countries. The internet is not America. Anyway, looks like they don't care, so we'll just have to keep buying things from China. There's no point in me spending $100 on shipping to get this little bottle, is there? No, there isn't. So let's get 1,000 of these things from China. So they get 100% money. Hail communism. So, don't want to dye my hair today. Don't want to deal with opening another packet of hair pieces and putting one on. The glue from what I've created in this concoction, mixing 50-50 alcohol, Walker Tape Ultra Hold, results in even better glue. Absolutely no lift whatsoever from sweat or anything so far. but it is winter. The only thing I want to do is really try to color match my hair with the hairpiece, and eventually just get rid of this frontal and convert to having a full topper. But I have a problem with the main hairstyles that men have, which is lay it down back over this area here. I want my hairstyle to be almost shaved short back here and get long here. This area going forward. With people who've got baldness happening back, you can't do that. So bad luck. But for me, I can. So I don't care about whatever this bald spot is yet enough that I have to have a full topper going back over that. So what I would do instead, even though I'm not balding here very much, it's just uniformity that I'm looking for. I would make the hairpieces that big, which means I can only cut one hairpiece out of a hairpiece, which is shit. It's double my prices permanently, but I haven't done it yet. I've still got a year's supply of low density, or medium light density, 0.06 millimeter poly. I have no problem with the 0.06 millimeter, what should I say, 60 micron poly from Lord Hair, except for the fact that it's medium light density, which means you can see right through into the cornfield lines, which look fake like doll's hair. It's the same as having unbleached knots on a lace piece. But I think their color number 4 is much darker than this color number 4 from curvehairpiece.com. There's nothing in between medium dark brown and almost jet black. It's ridiculous. Color number 4 and color number 3 are like fucking the bright sun and the darkest night. And from there it just gets darker with numbers 2 and 1. 2 and 1. 1 is just jet black. Number 2 is close enough to jet black, you couldn't even tell the difference. Number 3, very, very, very dark brown. Number 4 is almost like fucking blonde. So, I don't know, there's nothing, it's something definitely worth complaining about. But I don't want to be ordering custom dyeing jobs. Now, in terms of dyeing my own hair myself to try to get darker, try to match this a little bit better, how much effort am I willing to go to? I'd rather just buy something, fucking cut it out and stick it to my head and just fucking don't worry about dyeing and fucking base shields to protect the base from getting splashes on it. Even if I did start with a very light color version number 4 or a color number 6 or 7 like some people have recommended, so even though it is, you know, it's much darker than blonde, at least it's less visible when you're looking at those cornfield lines because they're so much lighter. And then you could potentially start from an inch out and just make that bit darker from, and just try to blend it upwards randomly with your fingertips or something to try to get that. But with an inch out from the base roots, there's a huge unlikeliness of splashing splotches of dark dye onto the base, which is what would ruin the hairpiece. So potentially that is the way to go. No base shield required because we're not trying to get a millimeter from the base anymore. We're just going, you know, generally an inch, half an inch to an inch, like that through the hairs. With the darker stuff, could work better. At the moment I can't be fucked doing any of that shit. Can't be fucked using this either. So, like I've said before, trying to make the greys go away seems like a losing battle. I don't know how often people who dye grey hairs have to deal with that shit. I'm not fully grey all over, obviously. Still only a baby, basically, only born like 44 years ago. But yeah, I've made a couple of self-tapes in the last 2 days, and I just don't like what I see. I mean, it's not just the hair, it's the fat. It's mostly fat. Like, at this point, I'm like, fucking shave my head, but don't be fat. Being overweight ruins your appearance more than being bald does. But then again, once you're in shape, you're better off with hair, aren't you? Yes, you are. Anyway, so despite my intentions, I'm going to leave things the way they are for now. The next hairpiece will be one of my 12-month supplies. Don't want to be dealing with blonde at the moment. So yeah, I've got a 6-month supply of these things. 0.06 millimeter poly, but medium low density. At least I went back and dyed the front hair line a second time for all of them, so it's much more realistic along the join where the front hairline lives. But also I've got something from FedEx. It was a failed delivery, so hopefully I'll get that in the next couple of days re-delivered to me, because I've had a fair bit of problems recently with the hair sticking up a lot of the time, and I had to use thinning scissors to try to reduce all that shit, to lie a bit flatter for me. But the new piece is going to be injection, which could mean that it's solving the problem of puffing up, and secondly, there'll be no cornfield lines because there are no roots at all. All the roots are just not coming out in V's, they're just injected in one at a time. They strongly recommend you do not brush your hair coming out of a shower, because there's nothing holding these hairs in. They're just like quills upon the vengeful porpentine. What did Shakespeare say? I can't remember. Anyway, something like that. Porpentine. I think it means porcupine, but I didn't care about the difference between the letter P and C. Porcupine. How do you spell porcupine? Porcupine. There's no QU, is there? There's a QU in quills. I guess he was feeling like the word porcupine should have a Q, and so he had to figure out how to stick a Q in that sentence somewhere with his iambic pentameter. So he shoved in quills. Clever.